Good morning. All right, another day, another dollar, as they say, right? Okay, in the news, so quickly, Trump travel ban. Supreme Court ruled yesterday that the Trump travel ban, the executive order, can go forth um, as President Trump intended, with some exceptions for refugees, those with bona fide relations, etc. So it's not a complete victory in that sense for the president, but it gives him what he needs to go ahead and enact this vetting of people coming in from 6 countries that are known for state sponsorship of terrorism. So the Supreme Court also ruled that they will be taking up the full travel ban in the fall. But by that time, I mean, we're talking, they won't meet it. They won't, once they end their term here this week, they will not resume again until first Monday in October. By that time, the 90-day period that Trump was asking for in this travel ban will have expired, and then not sure exactly whether or not people will accept on principle, whether or not how much of an effect this will have going forward. But the liberal media, was not too crazy about this yesterday. Obviously, liberal organizations, they thought they were horrified that this travel ban is going to be enacted, and the thing is that there was just really no constitutional argument as to why this should not take place. Moving on, Republicans have their health care plan. They're still trying to get some senators on board so they can pull off, get to the test vote stage. The Congressional Budget Office scored the plan yesterday and came out and said, the headline number that the media wanted to report was 22 million more people will be uninsured over the next decade if this plan gets enacted. But they also said that there will be $321 billion savings on the deficit, as well as healthcare premiums will actually, after a couple of years of probably rising, they will go down. So, there's some positive things to take out of this. This is never an easy thing to do. You're talking about something that deals with 1/6 of the economy. There is no magic pill, silver bullet kind of a thing that actually solves the problem here. You do what you can, but maybe the Republicans, what they need to do is focus in on 1 or 2 areas that they really object to, and then get those through. And if you think about premium increases, that's something that affects just about everybody, and people are looking for some relief that way, and that's what they really need to kind of play up and harp on, is that they're here to reduce the premiums and the burden to the individuals and their families, but also just find better plans that will work for them at the same point in time, and still insure as many people as possible. So lots of things going on there, and we'll just have to wait and see whether or not the Republicans can put it together. But right now, if they took a test vote today, they wouldn't have the votes to pass the bill. So they do need some more time to kind of sort this thing out and figure out what the best plan of action is for them. Also, in the fake news department, CNN, which had already retracted a story and scrubbed it from their CNN Money web page. It was a story on Trump advisor and friend Anthony Scaramucci about involvement in the Russian Development Fund, and that in the meddling with Russians on the election. There's no evidence to prove that, just like there hasn't been any evidence really to prove anything about Trump colluding with Putin and the elections here in November. The fallout now is that 3 staffers from CNN have now resigned. Whether or not that'll be enough, it remains to be seen. But Jeff Zucker, the head of CNN Worldwide, apparently is in no hurry to resign himself. And yet that would be the way for him to take the high road, is to do something about that. Finally, a couple of things here. I guess staying on the Supreme Court, lots of rumors yesterday that Anthony Kennedy would announce his retirement. Didn't happen. So chances are that probably won't happen. We'll see him go through another term, and then maybe he'll do it at the end of next term. And then the other thing was Theresa May's payoff to to Ireland for their support, the Democratic Unionist Party support of her election as the as the Prime Minister. In essence, she's staying in power, and she's formed a government, but the snap election was a complete disaster for the Tories, losing their sizable majority, and now having to ally with Ireland in order for her to stay in power. And how this affects Brexit, I'm not quite sure. They were moving in that direction, and the person who was most vocal against, one of the people most vocal against it, not around to do that. But the opposition is going to be there on Brexit. I mean, they're probably stronger in a lot of ways because of what happened in this snap election. And I say that Theresa May, this is going to go down as one of the maybe 10 biggest political blunders of all time, is to call that early election and then to lose the majority. You only call these things if you think you're going to, if you think, but only also know you're going to win. She didn't know, and therefore she lost. All right, well, stay safe. Have a great day wherever you are. We'll see you again in the morning for another edition of this podcast. Thank you for joining us, and also don't forget to watch the regular podcast tomorrow starting at about 10:30. So we'll see you then.